Okay, we're back. We're in front of the Troll's Cave, and I've learned a couple things. First of all, when you have someone that is a rock in your party, enemies can still attack it, but they always miss. So honestly, low-key, it's kind of a buff to have just a rock on your party. Unfortunately, everyone in our party is so useful because Block and Risa do so much damage. Grok is excellent for healing, and Yella has a lot of good AoE and like stunning and confusion and just a whole lot of useful magic. So anyone that ends up as a rock is probably going to be more negative for us than positive, but it is good to keep in mind that just because someone's a block doesn't necessarily mean you're screwed. Because honestly, I was cruising with that team with him as a block all the way home, and he was tanking like half of the damage the enemies were attacking us with, and literally taking 0 damage, which was awesome. But I also learned, in order to heal him, you need to use the golden needle. You can't just sleep at the end. You have to actually heal him from the status ailment. And I also learned that I remembered I can buy more of them if I go back to Elfland. So knowing now that I need those to heal, I'm probably going to have to take a trip back to Elfland pretty soon here and buy like 8 of those or something, just so that I don't have to worry about my whole team becoming blocks and then just getting like soft locked or something, because obviously that would be worst case scenario. Also, small tiny note, those flying bird things that turn people to stone, they have like less than 60 HP, because I hit one for like 62 and it died, which is insane. But we have made it back here. Ooh, I've never seen this enemy before. He looks pretty cool. Yeah, we've made it back here. We do have the rock, which I'm assuming is what the guy needs. But we will see. That guy did not attack us, so we still have no idea how much damage he does or if he has any status afflictions. Maybe he'll paralyze us or something because he's yellow, but I'm not sure. You have Star Ruby? Give me Star Ruby and I let you pass. Here you go, big guy. I know you want that Star Ruby. Nothing tastier than rubies. Thank you, big guy. If I ever find any more star rubies and I don't have another better purpose for them, I will happily bring them over to you. Oh, never mind. He just walked into the wall and disappeared. I guess he became part of the structure or something. That's fine. I'm going to come down here and go into the chest first, because I'm assuming the staircase up will just take us out of here on like the other side, which is fine. We've gotten to the point where ogres and ogre chiefs aren't too much of a problem anymore, which is quite awesome, because before they were probably some of the strongest enemies that we were encountering, besides maybe like scorpions. Great Axe, 620 gil, 450 gil, and a mithril helm. I think we might already have a mithril helm, I don't remember. No, we have a mithril chain. Now we have a mithril helm. That's really good. That gives us 1 more defense, which isn't that crazy, but it also gives us 1 more evasion, which is pretty cool. Oh shoot, what was the other thing? It was an axe. Great Axe gives us 3 more damage, but 3 less accuracy. So it's great for block, but not so much for Risa. You know what? I'm willing to bet that Risa can't even use it. Yeah, she can't. So definitely gonna use that for block. And Risa, I think I'm going to switch to the Worm Killer. Because while the Coral Sword is cool looking, actually, you know what? Factoring in the coolness, I'm going to keep it with the Coral Sword. Because Coral Sword looks awesome. But the Worm Killer is probably better just because fighting dragons, I don't think we fought any dragons. Maybe that includes lizards. But either way, dragon type enemies I'm presuming are going to be incredibly powerful. So we're going to have to be careful about that. But for now, we've still never encountered a single one. So I'm fine with just sticking with the Coral Blade and not worrying about it and just not thinking about it that much. I think we'll be fine. Block is almost about to level up again, by the way, which is awesome. We did make it to the other side. I was right about where the staircase took us. It looks like there's nothing down here. Unless there's like something in the last tiny little section of the screen, and we're probably just gonna run into nothing, which is kind of insane. We did end up getting poisoned, which is very unfortunate. We're gonna have to heal him up here with our Poisona. I did use a Poisona just in getting here, by the way, before the episode. So that is why we only have 3 uses left after that one instead of 4. And we still didn't level up. That's unfortunate, but there is a location here, which is huge. I don't remember, was it a wizard that was here? Oh, a sage. Which is pretty much just a wizard. I'm presuming there's not going to be any enemies around here. Can we break these pots? Can we destroy them and take money like Link? I guess not. Which is honestly kind of surprising considering they had a Link gravestone. But then they're not letting us destroy the pots. They've even got the old man. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Okay. Calm down, old man. So you were the ones who defeated the vampire, eh? He was but a servant. The beast corrupting the earth crystal lurks much deeper within the cavern. Oh, brother, we're gonna have to go back in. You know, that honestly makes sense considering how fast we absolutely demolished the vampire. But that's probably what that stone is down there. He's probably gonna give us something to put on it, and we're gonna have to go in for a second time. Here, take this staff with you and use it behind the vampire's chamber. You obtained the Earth Rod. Hell yeah. This guy looks like he's got a little fire for hair. I know it's just a pit behind him, but he must be a fire elemental. Restore the crystals to grace. Okay. So we are going to have to go back in now. Which is fine. We did pretty well the first time. But before we do that, I'm going to take a trip to Elfland because I'm worried that if we end up getting turned into stone too many times, we're just going to be, like, completely screwed. Oh, I accidentally used Poisona. That's fine. We're going back anyways, so it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna spam Poisona on nothing. Who cares? Yeah, I guess I will run over there, off screen, and we will be back when we get back in front of the dungeon again. And I'll see you then. Okay, we've made it back to where we left off in the dungeon. I have a few updates. I did travel down to the elf village and come back, like I said, and Block is turned into a rock again. It happened again, the same way obviously, but this time we have 10 golden needles. So we're going to use that on him, which is nice. Obviously I bought a lot more stuff. I bought 50 potions. I bought 20 echo grass and 20... Well, we have 20 antidotes, and we have 20 echo grass, which is good. I bought 10 high potions, just in case we're ever super low and we need to use one in battle. I also bought 20 eye drops. And I bought 10 ethers. Now, I saw that I could buy the Phoenix Downs. However, we have a spell that lets us revive a character. So why would we ever buy a Phoenix Down for 500 bucks if we could just use an ether for 150 bucks and then cast the spell, and it would give us more mana on all of our other spells in the process. So obviously ether is significantly better. I honestly should have probably bought more, because if I had like 50 ethers I could just live forever. But one, I don't want to make it too easy. I do still want to, you know, inventory manage and stuff. I do have a ton of money, which I've just collected. So if I ever die all the way, I can just buy a bunch of ethers and it should make my life a lot easier. But I think we're good with what we got. We've got plenty of inventory. We've got plenty of mana. The only magic that I've used is a Poisona, because one of us got poisoned on our way here. But everyone's doing pretty good. Risa's down 100 HP, Block is down 100 HP, Grok is down like 12, Yella's down like 50, 60 rather, but we're all doing pretty good. I might actually, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna cast some cures, one for each of them. Actually, I'll do 2 for these 2, because they're pretty low. But now we're just about capped out. We've still got 3 cures or Dias. If we choose to use a Dia, we could, if we end up fighting a bunch of undead enemies, but I doubt that we will. And I'm ready to continue. I'm ready to light up the Earthstone. Now, I have a theory. I don't know if this is how it is, but I'm assuming that those stones in my inventory on the bottom left, above the time and money, I think one of those might be the Earthstone. The way that people are talking about it is as if there's like an Earthstone in town, and that's what we're trying to light up. But nobody has talked about these crystals that we have in our inventory, the orbs as they were called in the original game, but obviously they're not orbs anymore. So I'm wondering if these are those, and this is like 1/4 of the story, and then we need to like go light up the other 3 somehow, and then fight the final boss or something. I'm not sure, but that's my current theory, because I don't know what else the Earth Crystal would be, because I haven't seen it. Nobody's shown me any crystal, so I'm gonna just guess that that's the one. And let's finish off this dungeon. It might just be 1 more floor, or it might be like a double the size. I'm really not sure, but hopefully it's not too incredibly difficult. Let's look around. Any staircase anywhere? There is a staircase over there, and this floor is massive. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna be that stressed about searching every inch of it like I was before, because it's just so big that if I really tried to do that, it would take me ages. So I'll probably search it pretty thoroughly, but not that thoroughly. And I think we should be fine. I doubt there's anything of any real interest, and we're probably going to hit most of these locations just on a run to all the doors anyway, so it should be fine. Immediately we have to fight 4 cockatrices though, which, I mean, it's quite problematic. We can take out them pretty quick. Hopefully we can just one-shot them all and they don't get any attacks off. That one did survive. Please? Okay. If there's going to be that many cockatrices on this floor, I am definitely glad that I went and bought gold needles. We also just got a gold needle from killing those cockatrices, so apparently they have a chance of dropping gold needles, which is really, really good. Because not having a stream of golden needles that we're gaining is obviously going to be tough, but now that we have a source for those, that's way better. I thought this bat was something because I thought he was just standing in my way, but no. Monsters, of course. Ooh, there's hyenodons and an ogre mage. I don't know what to even focus on. I guess I'll focus on the ogre mage, because if he has any AoE spells, that could really mess us up. As a matter of fact, I'm going to cast an AoE spell. I'm going to cast Firaga, because I really don't want to have to deal with these guys. And I'm also going to cast... Oh, by the way, I got some new spells. I completely forgot to mention. I got Haste, which should double the attack of somebody, which is really good. The only problem is it's on the same thing as Confuse and Sleepra, which are obviously very good spells, and I'm actually going to use Confuse. But I also got, I believe, yes, I got Vox, which cures Silence, which for the most part is going to be pretty useless. We're probably going to be focusing on Poisona, but it's nice to have, because if anyone silences Yella, in particular, we're really gonna need him to speak. We need him to actually cast magic and stuff, so that's good to have. I was gonna cast Confuse, but I'm actually gonna swap and cast Thundara, because I just want to do some damage. I think I should be able to kill the Hyenodons, which is nice. He tried to use Hold on block, which, if my memory serves, which it probably doesn't, I think that makes me attack half speed. But he obviously missed. I'm gonna check my spells real quick and see what a hold does. I was able to just demolish them with a couple of magic attacks, which is very nice. I was worried that they were gonna be like super strong enemies, but they seemed just an average amount of strong, which is good. Hold paralyzes one enemy. Okay, so he can paralyze, but that's honestly not the end of the world. I should be able to survive that. I'm actually going to do the same exact thing I did last time. This time I'm going to attack the Ogre Mage. I'm going to cast Lazara this time, because last time it was a little bit overkill, and then I'm just going to do regular attacks with them, because I don't think I need to waste 2 AoE magic spells on these guys. I think we should be fine with 1. He blinked. I don't know what that does, but it makes me nervous that I'm not going to be able to hit him. But let's see. I was able to hit him. I do not know what Blink does. You know, maybe Blink is the spell that makes you attack twice. No, that's Haste. Yeah, okay, I have no idea what Blink does then. But I guess we'll find out eventually if we either find it or an enemy uses it on themselves again and we don't kill them that turn. But honestly, hopefully that doesn't happen. I did just miss what item we got on accident, but I'm sure it was whatever. We'll figure it out eventually. Sphinxes look crazy strong, but I'm just going to focus all physical attack for now. As long as they're hitting block for 3 damage, which doesn't seem like a lot. But honestly, that's quite a lot, considering how tanky block is. And yeah, you can see how strong they are because they hit yellow 1 time and it does 50 damage, which is crazy. But we should be good. 1400 gil. I am going to use Cure on Yella, actually, just because I'm a little bit nervous with his HP. Everyone else seems to be doing pretty good. More Sphinxes, which we can just auto-attack. Hopefully they don't attack Yella, because that would definitely be bad. And that one might actually survive. That's actually super problematic, but fortunately they both attacked block, so it should be fine. They're able to tank quite a bit of damage sometimes. Even when Block and Risa are hitting them, they only do less than 100 damage, which is obviously a big problem. 5,000 gold. Oh, and that one didn't even have any monsters in it, so that's super convenient. We're making so much gold from this still. Now, I could use lightning on them, but because there's only 3, I'm gonna just use regular attacks. And hopefully I think that should be fine. They don't do too much damage, so I'm not too worried about it. I think we'll be alright with just regular attacks. Especially considering that paralysis automatically expires at the end of battle, so it's not like the worst spell to have hit you as long as you have enough strength to kill all the enemies. It's the same enemies again. As long as there's not more than like 4, I think we're fine just fighting them regularly. So again, we're just going to do the same thing. Hopefully Block can tank most of the damage, and we can take them out pretty quickly. Yella did get hit again, and I think we're about at the point where we should be casting Hilara. The highest HP person is Brock, and even he is almost 60 away from being full HP. So we're going to cast this. That was actually able to max out Brock, which is nice. I think it heals around 100. I'm pretty sure Yella had 60 HP, now she's at 160, but yeah, that was really good. Everyone's doing great now. It only cost us 1 of that spell. That spell is easily like the best spell that we have, to be honest. I suppose we should go down to get to that door over there and check the areas as we go. But there's probably going to be nothing again. We're going to focus on the poison enemies because I just don't want to be poisoned, and then we should be safe to turn on auto attack. Hopefully Croc and Yella can take out 1. They did not, unfortunately, but it's fine. We only took 13 damage. We were able to take those guys out, so it's not much of a problem. I love these dungeons. They're so fun. We're kind of destroying this one because we're so much stronger than all these enemies right now, to be honest. But I don't mind it at all, and the real problem is trying to manage our inventory and manage our mana, because I speculate that by the time we get to the final boss, we're It's pretty much what I'm trying to say is it's all going to be up to the final fight. Because I think that guy is going to be the one that's going to be doing actual damage. Everything up to him is pretty much just set up to slow us down, waste our inventory, waste our mana, and make us less prepared for the final fight. So as long as we can survive until then, we should be good. I'm gonna use Fyra again. Or actually, I used Fyraga, I used Blizzara. This time I'm gonna use Fyra. And hopefully it's still enough. I'm gonna focus all of my attacks on the bottom guy. And I'm gonna use Dark actually, because I'm a little bit worried that we're gonna get hit. Oh wow, he got one shot actually. Okay, I'm not worried about it at all anymore then. That's huge. Hopefully we can blind them so that they don't attack us. Looks like the front one escaped. But that's fine, because we can sick him on him. Risa can go on the big guy, and then the other two can focus the bottom guy. And I think that should kill all of them this turn. And he attacked block, so it only did 1 damage. That's really good. And we got 2 levels up as well. Level up. And a tent. Okay. More monsters. Again, the same set of enemies. Hopefully, we get lucky enough to kill the Ogre Mage twice in a row. Again, we're going to use Fyra. And then this time I'm just going to focus on damage only and see if we can kill the Ogre Chief while we're at it, because that would be really nice. Come on. Oh, tough. We're probably super close, but it should be fine either way. He only did 1 damage actually. And Risa's going to be attacking him. I should have changed her spell before turning on auto attack, I'm remembering. I always forget to do that. I forget that when we have auto attack on, they just do what was most recent. But it should be fine. But once again, just do the same exact thing. We just gotta remember to turn off Fyra afterwards. And I'm honestly not worried about wasting Fyra, because it's honestly not that strong of a spell. So when we're up against stronger enemies, I'm not worried about not having it. I'm going to save some darks. I'm not going to use that this time. But Fyra is just like whatever. We have Byrana, or whatever it's called, and Blizzara. So we should have plenty of mana going into the final fight. That said, those are AoE spells anyways, so as long as he's not summoning a bunch of minions around him, I'm probably not even going to be using those regardless. But it's still best to stay safe, and we got a Mithril Shield from that, which is obviously going to be better than my Iron Shield. Yeah, that's huge. 4 extra defense and 0 negative evasion, which is excellent. He's going to be blocking even more now, which is really, really good. And now we can just move on to the next floor. I'm going to assume that the next floor is going to be the final floor, because the original dungeon had 3 floors in total. Now we're on the bonus 4th floor. It could have 6, but because this is like the earliest like 2-part dungeon that we've been to, I assume there's going to be more multi-part dungeons where you go in part way, leave, and then have to go in again. Since this is the first one, I'm going to assume it's not going to double the size, but just add a couple more floors, but we will see. It's very possible that there is going to be more floors, so only one way to find out. Hopefully we can kill her. Nice. She didn't get a single attack off, which is really good. And on to the next floor, we can check. B5. And this is going to be the last floor. Now, I will say, this empty space in the top left, I'm not sure why that would be there, besides if there was like an enemy or something. So I'm going to check up there, but everything else should be fine to ignore for the most part. It might be a little bit of a waste of time to go check all the way up there, but that's fine. I'm curious, which way am I supposed to go? Up and around, okay. I'm actually going to go this way. I'm going to explore this entire floor, because this is the final floor. I don't want to miss anything. And the route to leave is very, very short. So I'm realizing on the floor before we can go the opposite route that we went the first time. And we should be able to explore the whole thing that way. But this one is just directly out, so I'm going to try and explore everything the first time through. I'm going to cast Dark on these guys, because I don't want to get poisoned before the final fight. That would suck. But yeah, it should be easy. Oh, only one Dark? That is so unlucky. And he failed to flee. Getting the poisonous enemy to flee would honestly be amazing, but it is what it is. We can try and focus our weaker guys on the middle red man, and hopefully they can kill him together. Oh wow, they were actually able to kill the middle guy from like an auto attack somewhere, and then finish off the bottom guy, which is really, really convenient. We are going to check up here. Probably going to be nothing. Now, I'm pretty sure that, well, I'm not pretty sure, but I'm guessing that the reason the game is like this, where it's like showing areas on the map that are completely useless, is for one of two reasons. One, they wanted to make the world feel more immersive, which I guess is possible. Where it's just like, oh, it's just a random cave, there's just random stuff around. Don't think about it too much. Which maybe is possible, but I'm leaning more towards another possibility. I think that the reason it's like that is because in the original game, I don't think the game had a mini-map. So in the original, you were just kind of forced to search around. And so I think that is a remnant of that, because originally you weren't able to go directly to the boss room necessarily. There was no key on where to get to it. Which, you know, makes a lot of sense, and I feel like that's probably why it's like that, but I don't know for sure, obviously. I am going to cast Hilara before we go into this final fight, and I'm going to defend, because the other two should be more than enough to take her out. And she attacked block, which is really convenient. I didn't end up getting Hilara off, but that's totally fine. I'm going to be using that in the open world anyways. Before I go through this door, I'll cast Hilara. Hilara on everyone, which is good. Everyone's pretty capped. Yella's capped. Block is almost capped. Risa's pretty far. And Grok is pretty far. So I might actually use my last two cures on Risa and Block. Grok. And we're pretty stacked right now. I think we're good. I think we're good to go in and fight. We've still got a lot of mana. We've got 3 Firagas, 4 Blizzaras. We could use Protect, or Fire, or Blizzard, or Fire, but we probably won't, if we're being honest. We've got plenty of Hilara. We've got 3 Hilara, or Reses with life. We've got 5 Poisona and Vox, in case anything status ailments us. We've got 6 heals, which is great. And we've got 6 blindness, which we're probably never going to need to use that, but we have it as an option, I guess. And as for Yella, we've got 5 Scourge and Slowras. So Slowra, we can try and hit the big guy for. If there's a big guy, which I'm assuming there is. But I'm assuming as well that that's probably not going to be very effective, because every time I try and hit a big guy with a status ailment, it just never works. So I'm probably going to instead try and use haste and confuse if there's multiple enemies, and then probably Slowra. And if it's still not working, I'll probably switch to Thundara or hold and see if those work. I'm probably not going to use hold, because I'm almost sure that that's not going to work. A level 3 spell and a boss probably is just going to do nothing. But I could spam Thundara at the very least, after trying to use haste and slow run, confuse, and all that stuff. As long as there's no hordes, then obviously we'll use Scourge. And I think that should be the plan. That all seems pretty good. Everyone's level 24. Everyone's healthy. Whoa, we've got 100,000 gil, which is huge. And we should be ready. I can't see us being any more ready than this. And now imagine after all this, there's not even a boss. Which, by the way, that is definitely the same crystal that's in our inventories. So maybe the orbs we have in our inventories, because it did say orbs. Perhaps the orbs are used on what appears to be this yellow orb. Maybe we use those, and that's what lights up the crystals, which we can see in our inventory, but might not actually be in our inventory. That just might be like a progress display or something, and we just have orbs that we can use to activate them. But let's find out. Who speaks to me? Okay, so Thundar is probably not the play. He clearly seems to be some kind of electrical creature. I am he who feeds on the power of earth. I will not be disturbed by mortal man. I am the Lich, fiend of earth. Okay. First of all, he's a Lich. Now I'm wishing that I had bought the spell to deal damage to undead. But it is what it is. I'm not that worried about it. Regular attacks are probably going to be stronger anyways, just because it's an AoE spell, but could have been useful, but it's fine. We still should be able to beat him. This guy looks awesome, by the way. I'm not going to use any AoE magic with Risa unless he starts summoning minions. And as for you, I'm not sure if I want to attack with him or just defend. But because this enemy is made out of bones and he uses a hammer, I'm gonna hope that he has some sort of damage advantage and just swing. But if he does like 2 damage, I'm just gonna put him on full defense mode, because as long as he can have enough HP to freely heal and not have to worry about dying, I'm happy with Grok. Yella, on the other hand, I want you to use haste immediately on block, probably. They are going to use slow. It did miss 2 of us, which is nice. 39 damage isn't bad. 1 damage, though, is horrible. The haste and slow are probably just going to mitigate each other, if I had to guess. But I'm assuming that the only reason that Risa and block only did 1 damage is because they were slowed. I'm praying that it's not because their weapons are ineffective, because if that's the case, that is very unfortunate for us. He used hold to paralyze him. That's not good. I guess I'll do a regular attack. Do we have a way to undo the paralysis? Looks like we don't. But we do have an item for it, I think. I hope. Let's see. Cures darkness. Okay, we do not have a paralysis remedy. We could use the remedy, but I feel like it's not worth it, to be honest. So we're just gonna have to let block sit there and tank it for the time being. Hopefully he can get up soon, and hopefully we can do enough damage to kill him. I'm gonna try and cast Slowra, and hopefully that slows him down. Please? I kind of figured that would happen. We are not doing enough damage. We're probably gonna... Wow, that did a lot of damage. We might die here, which would be very bad. I'm gonna try and use some magic, because maybe magic will be doing better damage. Obviously, I need to use Healra. Get everybody up. And then I'm gonna try and use hold and just pray that he gets paralyzed. That's again tough, but there's not really much that we could do about it. Firaga is gonna hit him for 97. Okay, that's actually really good. And he's using Fyra, which did a ton of damage, but at least he didn't use Firaga. Okay. We are going to use Firaga again, because clearly that's working better, and we're just gonna have to spam Hilara, especially because Yella is just 2 hit if he does magic twice in a row. I think I'm gonna just give up on these spells and stuff, and maybe actually, I'll cast haste on Risa one more time, and then I'll start just attacking with lightning with him, and hoping that that does pretty decent damage. 111 is great. Risa gets haste. I'm not sure if she's gonna... I'm not sure how haste works. Maybe they just, like, get 2 swings. Obviously, we saw that it mitigated the slowing effect, which is pretty cool. They, like, counteract each other, and now I actually have haste, which is good. Maybe I can cast 1 Firaga, and then 1 ice attack? That would be really, really good. But I won't be betting on it. I'm not going to use any healing right now. Actually, I will use heal, because some people can use it, and it'd be nice to cap out. Especially if he hits before we heal, it'll be great. And then I'm just gonna cast... It's so hard to decide with the spells because they just don't activate. They're just not activating. I guess I'll cast haste on myself. Actually, I'll cast haste on Block and hope that he wakes up soon, and then I'll cast haste on myself. And then we can just focus entirely on spamming out attacks. Also, he did attack first, so Block was able to get some nice HP off of that, which is great. And I'm praying that the haste on Block is going to make it so that he can wake up sooner. Now, I will say that Risa did not attack twice, which I'm not sure why. But I'm guessing it's because she only had 1 mana on that spell, so hopefully she cast Blizzard twice, would be huge. She does not, and it only did 28 damage. So I'm going to actually switch to Fyra, and hope that he's weak to fire damage. And I'm going to cast Haste on Grok as well. I really just do not understand Haste. But I'm just gonna guess that as long as haste is cast on us, that he is gonna get like half as many spells or half as many attacks in general. We're doing a lot better now than we were doing at the start of the fight, which is good. It seems like he might have burned through a lot of his mana because he's trying to do a lot more. Oh, you know what haste does? I bet that haste is making us dodge his attacks, and that's why he's doing so much less now. Because we're able to dodge it better. I'm gonna use fire instead of Blizzard or Blizzara because they just seem to not do like any damage. Which, you know, is fine because we have a lot of fire spells and he's clearly weak to fire. And he took a lot of damage to Thundara, which is nice. But we don't have any more haste. Which, you know, it'd be nice. Uh-oh. How much damage is that going to do? A lot of damage. Okay. That is not good. But anyways, it would be nice if we could use... Oh, Grok is finally awake. Okay, that's actually huge. Block, sorry. We are going to, again, attack with regular fire, which just is not doing that much, but it is what it is. We are going to, obviously, use Hilara. It's our last Hilara, actually, so that's very precarious situation that we're in. We just need to pray that he dies soon, and then we can use Hilara before Yella dies. Because if Yella dies, we could be screwed. Uh-oh. Yeah, Yella's gonna die. We might all die, actually. This is very, very bad news. Risa is probably one-hittable. Ooh, this is tough. This is tough, tough, tough. Do I just cast Protect on herself? I think I do. Because if she dies, I'm completely screwed. I'm gonna have to use Heal. I want to res him, but I just don't have that in me right now. You know what? I have to res him. So I'm just gonna use the Ether on Grok, on himself, and just hope that everyone can survive for a turn. And that for 2 turns, then we can res everyone. He missed the hold, which is absolutely huge, and Risa's got Protect on her. I'm gonna use Protect on Block as well. Actually, I'm gonna use it on Grok. Because Grok is in the worst situation if he ends up dying. And because I want to use Life on Yella. And just pray that Yella doesn't die the second that she revives. Oh! That he revives. He actually died. I'm kind of salty because Yella's not going to get any XP for this. But that's huge. This was a very close battle. Okay, that's not that much XP. He's not that far behind. He's barely behind Risa. But that was huge. We got 3,000 gil, 2,200 XP, and that was by a landslide the hardest fight that we've gone through. That was incredibly close. But we managed to do it. We're lighting up the Earth Crystal, the first crystal that we've gotten to. And that should, like, restore the town nearby, which is nice. I'm hoping... Oh, I got an achievement for restoring the Earth Crystal as well. I'm hoping that this yellow thing isn't in the air floating above the crystal. And then it's a teleporter home. Leave, yes. That is so huge, because if we had to run all the way back through, there's a very real chance that we would have died in the process. Okay, but let's cast some magic. We probably should have saved Life instead of using Healara. But it's fine. We can res him, and then we can spam some heals. Just use them all, whatever, who cares? We're out of the dungeon. We don't need to worry about it anymore. Let's just get out of here. I just want to go home and be done with the dungeon. I want to see what the new town is like now. And then we'll probably end the video there for now. But that's great. We also might want to head back down to the like southwest little peninsula thing. Actually, I don't think we need to. I'm pretty sure he just gave us the staff and that's all we needed from him, so we don't need to go back. This place is still icky. Restore the crystals to Grace. So maybe we need to restore all of them before it actually does anything. But if we go into our inventory... Yeah, one of them is lit up. So I guess we need to light up all 4 in order for this town to be happy and prosperous again. But we need some well-deserved rest. And next time, we can head off to the east. We'll probably head there from the town 2 to the right of where we are right now. Let me go outside so I can check it real quick. But I'm probably going to head over to Provoca. And then from there, just head south. We tried to head east from the Elven Castle, from Elfheim. But obviously, we were blocked off. So, we have 2 options. We could either go from Provoca, or we could sail from the sea from where we are now all the way to the right. But I think I'd rather explore land first. So I'm going to head over to Provoca, and we'll continue there towards the south in the next video. I'll see you all then. Bye bye.